What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Straight Betting. Today is it's Monday, but it is Game 5. Pacers Thunder back in OKC. Series tied up 2-2. Honestly, guys, it's been an amazing series so far. I could give less a shit about ratings and what people got to say about that, man. Like, who gives a shit, man? These two teams, Pacers especially, man. They've just been so impressive. They really match up good with this OKC team. Thunder have been doing their thing, right? I mean, miracle stuff. Shea is so good. What he did in that fourth quarter, guys, like we're gonna talk about, years from now. It was really, really special from Shea. And yeah, man. So there a lot of fun stuff, a lot of fun takeaways. But quite frankly, guys, I think that both teams are pretty happy with where they're at, right? I think that OKC knows that they should be up 3-1 right now. And I think Indiana's happy to be 2-2. I think that they're doing everything right. I think that there really isn't much adjustments to make. They're getting great contributions from everybody. So obviously, guys, I'll go through all that stuff, game breakdown after the plays. I do have two official plays here. I guess if you guys do enjoy this type of content, you guys do think that I bring some value to the table, just make sure to drop a like and sub, while you're here. It's greatly appreciated. But with that being said, guys, let's get into the plays. Let's not waste any more time. It's pretty late, so time for me to hit the hay after this. Anyways, guys, first official play, I'm going with SGA under 8.5 first quarter points, minus 132 at FanDuel, guys. I would only risk to win 0.75 units here on this. First of all, it's juice. Second of all, it's a first quarter play. Second of all, it's reliant. My reasoning is reliant on a trend from last game to continue. So that's always dicey, right? However, guys, I think the trend last game was so important to them ending up winning the game. So we go over to SGA's first quarter points, man. He only had 4 points. That's not the point. If we hover over this right here, if you can see, 8 first quarter minutes. That's weird, right? Before that, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. And then he had a little stretch where they switched up the rotation in this Denver series. SGA usually plays the entire first quarter. He didn't. He only played 8 first quarter minutes. It came, in correlation with Hartenstein making his first start of the season. And looks like this line moved a little bit, guys. So yeah, now it's at 365 in Bovada. Still playable there for sure. But yeah, guys, SGA under 8.5 first quarter points, man. He only played 8 first quarter minutes. And the reasoning behind that from Degenalt and the reason why it happened was they really made an effort to conserve Shea for the second half. And like I said, man, it won them the game. Like SGA has been, he was lights out to end the game. He needed to have some energy to be conserved. And I think that was strategic. They knew it was going to be a dogfight. So they switched up the rotation and it worked. Like literally the entire reasoning for switching up the rotation. Maybe it was like a little lineup combinations in there. But for the most part, man, it's because they knew Shea was going to play like a ton in the second half, and especially down that stretch. So switch up the rotation to him only playing 8 first quarter minutes, and like I said, it worked to perfection. Right? Shea was had enough energy in the tank down the stretch. They won the game. So I'd fully expect this to stay the same. Shea, when he plays 7 to 10 first quarter minutes, this is just on the year. He is under in 11 out of 14 games. And then if you go to the playoffs, right, he's under in all 4 games. So yeah, man, this is just basically like, look, if Shea's not going to play the entire first quarter, this line is not correctly set. You know what I'm saying? And you can kind of tell by the line movement, and I apologize for this, guys. I really did not play this that long ago, but it is minus 154 at FanDuel now. But yeah, there's a couple other books that do have it. So yeah, make sure to obviously play it at those books. But yeah, man, like I said, just this line is incorrectly set in my opinion if he's going to continue to play an 8-minute first quarter. And like I said, it just makes all the sense in the world for it to continue given how Shea performed down the stretch and given how that won them the game. And just given that they won the game in general, right? When something works, you typically keep going to it. So yeah, man. And then one final thing with this Shea play, this is a little narrative-y, right? If we go to his assist, man, he did not record an assist last game. So what I'm thinking too, man, is that Shea, look, man, it's human nature. You have a big fat donut, and yeah, he had 8 potential assists, but still, at the end of the day, he had 0 assists. You have a big fat donut in the assist, man. It's just kind of human nature to maybe come out a little bit little bit looking to get your teammates involved and to rack up a couple assists early. I don't know, man. Maybe that's not the end all be all. Obviously, that's not my reasoning, but I do kind of think that it is a slight factor. Maybe you see Shea, have that midi available, kind of, but then there's someone else open in the corner, and he's giving that ball up, trying to get the teammates involved because the teammates did not get involved at all last game, guys. And I can guarantee you that's going to be a point of emphasis in the coaches' room, right? Like, yeah, yes, they won the game, man, but like at the end of the day, you got to get the teammates involved a little bit more. And I think they maybe make a little bit more of an emphasis to hit the role players and have them see some shots go down, especially at home. So yeah, man. But like this main reasoning is like they had a good plan to conserve Shea's minutes for down the stretch. It worked to perfection, and I think that they play him 8 first quarter minutes again. So and that makes this line incorrectly set in my opinion. All right, guys. Second official play. This one's a little two-legger. I'm a big fan of it, guys, and I have like a ton of leans, not gonna lie. And I'm probably gonna play some alt stuff and a lot of I might play some fun stuff here and there. But I am a big fan of this too, man. Tyrese Halliburton under 8.5 assists paired with Chet 6+ rebounds, and I did not put a price or book on it. And that's my bad. It was minus 115 at DK, and then there was also a minus 123 at FD FanDuel. So yeah, Halliburton under 8.5 assists, Chet 6 rebounds. Let's get to some of the reasoning on it, man. Look, first thing of all, I've preached this pretty much all playoff long. I'm telling y'all, man, like, and the net rating, the defensive rating stuff backs it up. OKC is just night and day difference defense at home. Like I said, you're a ref, man, and Lou Dort and Crusoe and Casey Wallace are hounding these guards full court. They're body checking them and stuff. That stuff just does not get called as much. OKC just like that home crowd is really insane. So this is the net rating stuff pulled up right now. On the road, OKC has a 113.5 net rating in the playoffs, and then if we go to at home, that is going to change to 99.3. Like historically good. And home court advantage it really does matter so much, man, because their fan base is incredible. Like their crowd is incredible, and you clearly the numbers back it up, man. But yeah, so it's just going to be tough for Halliburton to dribble. They're going to be picking him up full court as they usually do. If we go to his assists here, he only had 6 in each game on the road. Obviously, guys, you'd think that the role players for the Pacers shoot the ball a little bit worse on the road than at home. I can just guarantee that this offense as a whole is going to be way less comfortable at home. Halliburton is this offense, man. If the offense is uncomfortable, Halliburton probably isn't getting assists. That's kind of my thoughts there. Like I said, only 6 assists in the first couple games. I'm just going to trust the numbers, trust the eye test, and believe that this OKC defense is going to play incredible. Big lean here on just the team total in general for the Pacers, but I thought it was kind of set pretty correctly. It was at like 106.5, I believe. And, that's like, I know it's game 5 of the finals, right? Pace tends to slow down and stuff too. But just for the Pacers, man, like that's really low. I just couldn't get there, to be completely honest. Yeah, Halliburton under assists, like I said, under and 3 out of 4 this series. Assist numbers have been way worse on the road. This OKC defense, like every data point points to them. And every data point and the eye test points to them just pounding at a different level that they already typically do at home. So yeah, love fading Tyrese Halliburton here for the assists. A lot of good factors going into it, I think. Kind of just my thoughts overall with the Pacers, right? It's going to be a tough spot for them to score. So that's how I'm taking it. If it's going to be tough for them to score, I'm going to take the engine and what he likes to do away. I think that's going to happen. And then, like I said, I paired it with Chet to get 6 rebounds. Look, really like his over 8.5 rebounds too as well here. But I mean, this is just a pretty safe bet in my opinion to come through. First of all, he's had 10 and 15 rebounds over the last 2 games. Big thing though, guys, 35 minutes, 37 minutes. Chet is so important to this team. Like his switchability, we saw it down the stretch against like, Halliburton and stuff. And, really whoever tried to go at him. Chet is so switchable. He is just such an important part of this team. And I can't believe he had a couple games where he had 24 and 28 minutes. Another thing too, guys, is Hartenstein starting alongside him doesn't really hurt him at all. In fact, Hartenstein is just like a big body who, I've noticed, he's been boxing out a ton. And, when you're boxing out, you're not actually getting the rebounds. But what you are doing is you're going to make sure your team secures the rebounds. Hartenstein on that court actually helps them. You kind of just think about it like, oh, they're going to start together. That means that Well, first of all, it actually increases both of their minute ceilings, right? Starting together instead of staggering the entire game, right? Because if they stagger the entire game, Hardenstein's floor is probably like 16 minutes. That makes Chet's ceiling 32 minutes. So yeah, they're both going to start together. It's going to increase Chet's minutes floor, like we've seen the last couple of games as well. And yeah, so I guess I never used a filter, but 30 plus minutes, like I said, 35 and 37 over the last 2 games. Like I said, he had a couple games where he didn't hit it. He had a 4 rebound in a 13 chances game, and then against Houston, I actually remember having bets on this game. I'm a sicko, but that was a game where they leaned so much into the double bigs for Houston, and just absolutely dominated the glass. Indiana does not have nothing like that, man. This Indiana team is very poor on the glass. And yeah, now that they're starting Hardenstein, like this OKC team, especially on the at home where they're gonna get more stops. Yeah, I just love Chet to get 6 rebounds. I think it's insanely safe. Like I said, man, this is 30 plus minutes. He's only averaging 33.1 minutes in the sample, right? And he's played 35 and 37 the last 2 games. If I had to make a projection for him, I'd probably have him at 34. And yeah, man. So it's like this is only at 33.1 minutes per game average, but he is averaging 10.4 rebounds in it. So yeah, I just think this is a pretty safe leg, man. He's been crushing on the glass, and we're just asking for 6. So obviously, guys, this is game 5. I always bring this up because of like OKC's drastic difference in defensive rating, net rating, all that good stuff. Yeah, it's a game 5 of the finals, man. You really can't be too concerned about blowout, right? Like if they lose out on some minutes, it'll be when it's like a 30-point game. It would have to be like a 30-point game with like 5 or 4 minutes remaining. That's my thoughts on it. So I really don't see any of these starters on either team probably like really losing out on minutes due to blowout, right? It's game 5 of the finals, man. Like, come on. So yeah. Anyways, guys, let's just talk about the game as a whole. So the big thing here, man, we all see how Andrew Nemhard, guys, he is playing his ass off. Shea, man, it's just tough for Shea, man. They're just denying the hell out of the ball. Something that's pretty interesting is like we all know he had no assists. He only had 25 passes made the whole game. So yeah, like they're throwing some tough coverages at him. They are kind of living with the midi, and I know I'm on his like an under points, and it's not for the game, but yeah, man. I kind of think just like naturally, this is gonna correct itself a little bit. Look, if Shea, you can only sub Shea out for so long. And like I said, man, it's a team game, and I really think OKC is gonna make some offensive adjustments to try to get the ball moving a little bit more. So yeah, I do kind of lean under on Shea PRA or Shea PA, I think it was. It's scary. It for sure is scary, right? You're fading top 3, top 2 player in the world in like a must-win game 5 at home. But yeah, I mean, they're really trying their best just to never let Shea touch the ball. And yeah, he's had 41, 42, 28, 35 PA in the series, right? Let's go to the playoffs. Yeah, only averaging 36.5 PA in the series. Slightly an under on it, man. It's like they really are doing a good job just to like, try to not let him touch the ball. And yeah, I mean, Shea's gonna do his thing. He's for sure gonna do his thing. But yeah, I mean, this kind of is a big ask, right? I mean, you're asking for 35 points and 7 assists, right? We just saw him have like a 35-point masterclass, and it truly was a masterclass, right? He played amazing. Like he played lights out, and he had 35 PA. So yeah, definitely kind of strong lean under on Shea PA, but yeah, I'm already on his first quarter under point. So J-Dub stuff. So guys, I mean, this is kind of the same theory, right? So I mean, J-Dub played. So you're obviously going to have Shea and J-Dub, one of the two on the court at the same time, or if one of them is off the court, the other one's going to be on the court. So we're fading Shea's first quarter points, right, because of what they did in the rotation. Well, obviously, as a result of that, J-Dub played 11 first quarter minutes. So yeah, I mean, probably have J-Dub for like 10, 11 first quarter minutes again, right? Totally think that they're going to do it. And guys, it's probably a really good SGP, by the way. Take Shea under first quarter points, and then J-Dub over first quarter points. That's 4.5. It is very juiced over, but yeah, I mean, that's just probably sounds like a good SGP. Like I said, love Chet stuff, man. I think the market is like a little bit low. I couldn't get there with the points. Like I said, my gut's telling me that that the role players are going to get involved this game for OKC, and it's just like kind of like a thing of game 5 back at home. We saw the role players do absolutely nothing last game, and Indy to an extent, like I said, they probably won't overhelp on the drives like they tend to do and limit the 3-point line. But at the same time, guys, OKC is coming off a game where they shot they made 3 threes. They shot like 3 for 17, 3 for 18. I don't know. Like I said, these teams, guys, it's game 5 of the finals. You can try to guess what's going to happen with matchups and stuff. The thing is, bro, these coaches are going to call timeout so fast and just make an adjustment. So even if you think you have a matchup edge, look, that's just going to get taken away. These coaches are paid millions of dollars for a reason. Like Carlisle and Dagnall are both great coaches. If there's a matchup that's being exploited, it's something there's gonna be an adjustment that comes. So yeah, like I said, man, I just love for these OKC role players to play a little bit better. Chet's been crushing. He's just playing so many damn minutes, right? Like you could just go to like what's like Chet with 30 plus minutes. Yeah, 17 out of 22 for his PR, but like, I mean, 23, 22, 24, 24, 22. Like, he's averaging 29.6 PR. And like, I know, guys, like, such a big difference between the playoffs and the regular season, right? It's almost stupid to use like these, to use these regular season numbers, like, even at all. But yeah, I mean, even like playoffs, 30 plus minutes, like, let's see where he's at there. Yeah, I mean, he's been amazing, right? He's playing a ton of minutes and he's so impactful. And Hardenstein can get exploited a little bit here and there, right? Like, the Halliburton pick and roll with Hardenstein into action, can get dicey for sure. Turner popping and stuff like that. Hartenstein trying to hang, on a switch can get dicey for sure. So yeah, Chet's just like, they tried that small ball shit in game 1. It didn't work at all. OKC's probably never going to go back to it. So yeah, totally see Chet playing 35 minutes, man. And this line probably is like a tad bit low, if we're being honest. So yeah, really was close to playing to Chet stuff. Big fan of it. Caruso, this dude's gonna regress at some point. I'm sorry, bro. Caruso, he's playing so good. And yeah, maybe the opportunities will continue to be there. He kind of seems like the only role player on the Thunder who's been getting opportunities this series, which is kind of weird. But yeah, he's I will say, man, he's super locked into like 28, 32 minutes or so. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't touch an under, probably wouldn't touch an over though either, man. I mean, this dude just, I don't think he's going to keep shooting this good. It's probably, the math would probably agree with me. We've been fading Dort the last couple days. Only took 2 shots last game. That's so crazy. And like I said, that's just not going to stick, man. That's bad defense. You can't be like letting Dort shoot the ball 2 times in 33 minutes. Like if you gotta just like help off him and take away Shea's comfort zone, take away J Dub's drives. You know what I'm saying? So I think we see a little bit of adjustment there. Yeah, and look, the rest of the role guys, look, I'm going to be completely honest, man. I love Aaron Wiggins to score 10 points here. Aaron Wiggins to score 10 plus points is plus 440 at FanDuel. And it's just like a shot. It's a shot in the dark that, this dude who has after that explosion in game 2, went off to Indy, role player on the road, and he has not been able to hit the side of the barn since then. So yeah, I don't hate taking like a shot at Aaron Wiggins that he just like comes out sparking, because then he'll continue to play, right? I mean, yeah, if he's playing, making shots, he'll continue to play. I'll touch on Case and Wallace too, real quick. And Hartenstein, I think Hartenstein's lines are fairly set. Like I said, he's going to start, but there's a world where he isn't. He's getting exploited a little bit. So Case and Wallace, 9.5 PRA. This dude is 0 for 3 in this game. I think he's 0 for 8 from deep in the finals. And he's just shot the ball really poorly, man. It's reflected in the minutes. He definitely has. From what I've seen from the eye test, he's had some moments where he looks like he's a really young guy, really young player, man. So he's had some moments where it's looked too big for him. But Case Wallace, I don't know. This is another gut thing, man. But I think he hits the 3. Like he's 0 for 8 on the series. Coaching staff knows that. They probably see him like kind of looking a little shaky with the confidence. Maybe he's a helping point. Would make sense for sure. And yeah, guys, he's due a little bit of regression, right? Like he's a near 40% 3-point shooter, I believe. And yeah, man. So Kaysen, look, just based off principle, I kind of think that he's due, but that's all I gotta say about that. Last 2 guys, man, Kenny Hustle, Isaiah Joe. I think Kenny Hustle, man, he played he played 11 minutes, which is really impressive. And his minutes are really, really good. Like really, really good. He matches up really good, especially well, even in the Turner minutes, he just matches up so good with like Siakam, Turner, Toppin. Like, I think he continues to play. He's been good. So, all right, guys. Pacer side of things, like I said, man, it's just tough. It's tough for me to get around to Pacers overs, especially. Like it's hard to not have that under only mindset just because that OKC defense at the crib is special. It's really special. I will say Pascal Siakam, guys. So in the minutes where it's Hardenstein and Chet on the floor, which I think it was probably around like 10 or 12 last game. Obviously they both started. I think they had another stint besides the starts where they played together. But I mean, it's really like he's getting guarded by Hardenstein, and Hardenstein's kind of helping off him. It's just natural for Hardenstein, obviously. So yeah, he got up 6 threes last game. I think like 3 of them were in those 12 minutes where they were both on the floor together. I mean, you're getting a plus 180 for someone who took 6 threes last game, and like, it's going to be that same good matchup. I wouldn't be shocked if we see Siakam get up like 4 to 6 threes. I guess let's do it with that filter, right? Let's just do 4 to 6 threes for Siakam and see what the hit rate is. It's probably because guys, we're talking about plus 180 here too, man. So like if we're getting like a 53.1% hit rate. Yeah. Look, I think this is a great look. Pascal Siakam to hit 2 threes, like truly do. Halliburton, I'm like I said, they're going to be a little bit more switch heavy with Chet. I think that Chet really proved that he can hang. That's in theory good for shooting volume, right? Especially like step back threes that will definitely be there on Chet. Bad for assists, which is another reason why I'm taking his under. And I don't even think I mentioned that when I officially gave out the prop. But yeah, like I said, I just know that I know what this ball pressure is going to look like. This ball pressure is going to be nasty from OKC at home. That just isn't good for Halliburton. Like I said, probably would prefer to leave his points out of it. I think it's probably fairly sad, but yeah, I am on his under assists. Turner is weird. It's I actually think it's a pretty good matchup for him to score, especially with the double bigs. He's getting all these open threes. I played his over 1.5 threes last game. Went 0 for 6. The pick and pop game is working really good. He has some moments where he struggles like attacking closeouts and stuff, but for the most part, on a permanent basis, I think that his points make a little bit of sense. The dude can't rebound for shit. It's actually kind of sad, not gonna lie. 2 rebounds, 10 chances, 2 rebounds, 10 chances, 4 rebounds, 11 chances over the last couple games. I'd probably just stay away from Turner stuff. Like I said, just not a fan of the spot. Maybe if he has another stinker in this game and his line's at like 12.5 for game 6 at home, that could maybe be a little interesting to me. Turner also does have these moments too, man, against Chet at the 5 where it just kind of looks dicey on defense. Like Shea, they're setting super high pick and rolls for him. And Turner's like trying to like do some like weird at the level stuff where Shea's just like splitting it super easily too. So yeah, and Toppin's been hooping. Toppin clearly matches up really good with them. So yeah, what is that? 30 minutes last game. Okay. Nemhard is interesting. I think he's like the one pacer guy I'm most interested in taking over on. Buy low a couple times. Like I said, man, I said this a million times, but this ball pressure is just going to be different. What are you going to do if Halliburton can't dribble? If they're hounding the hell out of him, you're going to let Nemhard initiate a little bit more. And maybe I don't know if this is a coincidence, but 20 PA in game 1, 15 PA in game 2, even though they got blown out and he only played 32 minutes. And yeah, man, a couple really quiet games from Nemhard recently, but I think that's giving us a decent price. He is actually the guy I lean over on. So really a fan of Nemhard over 14.5 PA. Neesmith, yeah, been quiet. It could be a Mathurin spot if OKC gets down. Mathurin's had some flashes, but yeah, like I said, Toppin continues to be good. I will say another pacer that I really like an over on is TJ McConnell. They're really kind of giving him those middies and stuff, and especially from 3. Not saying that like that's like how he's going to go over anything, but they have times where they're not really guarding him and stuff, and I guess if this game does get out of hand, like I said, I don't want to project that in a game 5 of the finals, but I mean, TJ would definitely benefit from that. So yeah, guys, I think that's kind of my thoughts on the game here, man. Like I said, really like taking a shot on Wiggins to score 10 points here, man, or Kaysen maybe to hit like 2 threes. I think that some Thunder role player alts I'm a big fan of, especially if you guys are fans of like parlays and big plus monies and stuff. So yeah, maybe Isaiah Joe to hit 2 threes. He's at 0.5 for plus 105. He is a liability defensively, though. I will say that. All right. And then Pacers side of things, like I said, Drew Nemhard, PA. I think it's an interesting buy low to say the least. Siakam hit 2 threes. I'm a fan of. Yeah, guys. Quick recapping the plays. 0.75 units on Shea, under 8.5 first quarter points. Like I said, he only played 8 first quarter minutes, and I think that definitely sticks. And then Halliburton, what the helly? Under 8.5 assists. Like I said, just going to be brutal with the ball pressure. OKC's defense, like it's just so damn good at home. And then Chet to get 6 rebounds. The dude's playing like probably like 34 to 37 minutes here, depending on how close this game is. So, yeah, Chet should be able to grab 6. All right, guys, that's gonna do it. Thank you guys for tuning in. And yeah, guys, I guess if you guys are still here, which you guys might not be, I'm actually stepping away from YouTube and just betting for a while after the finals conclude. I'll make an official video on why, but there's a lot of factors into just like life in general that are going into it, and just like um overall unhappiness at times with the stuff I'm doing. So yeah, I'll make a full video on that in a little bit, but yeah, just after this, just prepare for once this finals is over, I will be away for a bit. So yeah, wow, I ended this on a sad note, but yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Catch you guys for game 6, because we will indeed have a game 6.